Hello, I hope you're well. Poultry. Are you a UK poultry keeper? Do you keep poultry on your small holding, your garden, your allotment? Changes are coming. It's been announced by DEFRA that it was announced on the 19th of this month that as from the 1st September Scotland, as from the 1st of October England and Wales. There's no announcement yet about Northern Ireland, so if you're a poultry keeper in Northern Ireland, you're best to contact your DEFRA department to find out what's going on. That all poultry keepers, regardless of size of flock, at the moment it's 50 birds, but now, as from say the 1st September Scotland, the 1st of October England and Wales, we're going to have to register our birds. Even if you've only got one duck or one chicken, we're going to have to register. Let me just read you a bit from the DEFRA site. It's the uk.gov site. New registration requirements for bird keepers in Great Britain. All bird keepers must register their birds and update records annually. Now, the new measures are being brought in to protect the poultry sector from further avian flu, avian influenza outbreaks. And they were set out by the government on the 19th of March this year. Under the changes announced, the requirements will be regardless of the size of your flock, an officially register will be formed that birds currently only those of 50 or more poultry will do so, limiting the effectiveness of national disease control. But it sounds a bit upside down at the moment to officially register their birds. Okay. And then it says by registering their birds, keepers will ensure they receive important updates relevant to them, such as on any local avian disease outbreaks and information on biosecurity rules to help protect their flocks. This will help to manage potential disease outbreaks such as avian influenza and Newcastle disease, and help to limit their spread, which is, I can see the point in this. None of us want our birds to get avian flu, avian influenza or Newcastle disease. It means the loss of our birds, chickens or ducks. So by being informed earlier than reading it in the papers or on the telly, we will find out sooner or not whether there's a problem in our local area, and we can take measures to help to, limit the risk of our birds getting those problems. Now it says here, the information on the register will also be used to identify all bird keepers in disease control zones, allowing for a more effective surveillance so that zones can be lifted at the earliest possible opportunity and trade can resume more quickly following an outbreak of avian disease in Great Britain. Not too bad so far. But then you scroll down, you go past a statement by Sheila Voice, CVO Scotland, Richard Irvine, CVO Wales, Richard Griffiths, BPC, Chief Executive. You scroll down and you then come to, as I say, it's not one of the easiest of things to understand. It's a bit all over the place at the moment, but I'm just going to see if I can highlight the bits, find the bits which is very relevant to us. Now, here somewhere, it does say There's been 360 cases, more than 360 cases across Great Britain since October 2021, which is a significant number of backyard flocks included. Now, it does say here, on one of these here, I did read that, here we are, the new rule covers owners of backyard flocks, birds of prey and pigeon fanciers. Okay, so if you've got a backyard flock of chickens or ducks or both, birds of prey, or you've got pigeons, you're a pigeon fancier, or you've got pigeons for meat, even pigeons and chickens and ducks as pets, you will have to register. It says here, it does not affect caged birds, excluding any poultry species. Okay. Now, these birds must be kept entirely inside a domestic dwelling, such as parrots, canaries and budgies. And they must never leave the property other than a visit to a vet or another short-term period. Okay. Right, so if you're a bird fancier and you're taking your birds to a show, there's most probably going to be some paperwork or something involved. Now, if you've got an aviary outside, it's not kept within a domestic dwelling, is it? It's inside. It's kept in a domestic dwelling outside. So, are you going to have to register? It doesn't say. So, if you've got quail, like I have, am I going to have to register my quail? So far, it does not say. Yes, it's, I'd say, not that over explanatory. This change to bird registration is required in order to protect the health of all poultry and other captive birds in Great Britain and also public health. Bird keepers will need to provide information including their contact details, the location where the birds are kept, and details of the birds, species, number, and what they are kept for. Sense of Big Brother? Now, it does say I did read, it's you have to read through some statements as well. Yeah, but it does mean that if you've got one, say if you've got one chicken or one duck, you're going to have to register. Now I'll put a link below to this government news site, measure, this news site, whatever you like to call it. It's a press release, new measures to help protect poultry by gov.uk. And I say it does tell you, give you other sites to go to. The proposal follows the 2023 GB consultation, where you can go through to see that. Also the 2018 Dame Glenys Stacey review. There's a link to that. And information on the registration of birds can be found in gov.uk. So let's see what we've got. No, it just takes you through to a list of, at the moment, register to be a keeper of 50 birds. Yeah, it hasn't got on there, but it does have a list of birds which are covered under the law at the moment if you've got more than 50. So I take it, once this law comes in Scotland 1st of September, UK, England and Wales 1st of October, it's going to cover the same birds. Now at the moment it covers chickens, turkeys, aviary birds, birds of prey, cassowaries, ducks, emus, geese, guinea fowls, kiwis, ostriches, partridge, pheasants, pigeons, parrots, budgies, cocktails, quail and rears. You're a bird keeper if you're in charge of the day-to-day care of birds, including any you keep as pets. So yes, even if they're pets, you're going to have to register. So at the moment it's 50 or more birds captive, or more birds captive for any period of time. Flocks made up of different species such as chickens, ducks and geese, and all those others on the list. Birds for the consumption of meat, eggs, restocking of game birds, and other commercial purposes for breeding for any of these three purposes. So restocking of game birds. So that means to me it's going to affect gamekeepers as well, because of their rearing of pheasants and partridge. And then it tells you, goes down to registering, use them in service, register as a keeper of less than 50 poultry or other captive birds. Right, register as a keeper of less than 50 birds. So let's have a look and see where we go from here. Right, register as a keeper of less than 50 birds, poultry or other captive birds. Registering as a racing pigeon establishment. Well, this is going to have wide implications in the bird keeping world, I think. It's going to cause a lot of controversy as to just who and who isn't going to register. It's quite simple. If you're on the list, you register. If you're not on the list, according to this, you don't have to register. But whether you've got a bird that you keep inside your dwelling or a bird you keep outside the dwelling, if you keep a bird inside your dwelling, inside your house, does that mean if you put it out on a nice warm day, not in a bright sunny spot, it's not good for the bird, but in a bit of a shadier spot that gets a bit of sunlight, if you put it out in the day, in the summer, are you going to have to register because you're putting it outside? I think the answer is yes. Do you keep your birds in breeding cages, like in a shed? Like a lot of bird keepers keep breeding stock in indoor cages kept in a shed. Now, does that mean that you've got to register because they're inside? Okay, they're not in your dwelling, your house, but they're in a shed, not going outside. So I say, there's controversy in this. I will leave a link to the first section, and then you can just follow the links through to all these other measures, all these other information on it, and we will have to sort of see what happens. So for now, I'm going to sign off, and I'll catch you later in the week.